We're getting ready to start our leadership module number 3, and we're going to look at really the big picture as far as population health improvement and what the resources are out there as far as evidence-based practice for application. And part of applying effective intervention at the population health level is really integrating collaboration and really a broad view as far as the experience of health. So we're going to be talking about that as well, and looking at those factors back to our very first module, thinking upstream and things that really impact health, meaning they may not be typical health care, so to speak, but our spectrum as far as leaders in population health really transcends the traditional healthcare environment. So when we examine other factors, we're also going to take a look at all hazards preparedness in this module, and again, having that resiliency and really addressing some of those, whether natural or man-made disasters, is really a key component of leadership as well when we're dealing with overall health of populations. So let's go ahead and take a look at leadership module number 3. So with it, we are going to start out with a TED Talk on successful crisis management, and we're going to actually use this kind of as a basis for part of your forums. So let's take a look at this, and I think you'll find it to be very helpful and thought-provoking as well. And as we're talking about thought-provoking, I want to share with you the Frieden model. And this is really important to really take a long look at when we look at how we typically try to impact healthcare. We're looking at individual behaviors, and we're looking primarily at counseling or education. And when we look at the Frieden model, when we're looking in the context of population health, really it has less population health impact doing that individual education, which is what we do so typically. And that's where all that individual effort is needed to make change, which is very important. But when we scale things back and really look at those factors that have very broad impact on health, we're looking at some of those factors that may not be traditionally healthcare related, including socioeconomic factors. And again, this ties back to looking at the web of causality, all of those types of things, the social determinants of health. There are many factors that serve as barriers to getting to this level as far as being able to make changes in our self-behaviors or our self-care. So we have to tease things out and look at those impacts as far as our outcomes in healthcare. And you can see where how some of the very basis, and if you kind of think back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's kind of the same principles as making sure that you have that solid foundation for safety housing, those types of things, and then move on up so that you can have those higher levels of wellness. And so this really correlates with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and it also correlates with county health rankings as far as the impact of different types of activities on overall health outcomes. So take a look at this. You can see how the arrows indicate more individual effort, less individual, and more population impact, less population impact, those types of things. So really take some deliberate time to look at this and analyze how we currently administer healthcare and how some of the shifts and changes will be really pertinent to change healthcare. And it speaks to back to ethics again, looking at social justice, those types of issues, and looking at, as a leader, having that role of advocacy to promote shifts in policy and practices in how we live that will ultimately impact health. So kind of keep all of those things in mind. We'll also dive into some of our readings within the textbook. I have additional information here about creating joy in work, and that's moving from the triple aim more to the quadruple aim and looking at adding joy in work as the fourth leg to the chair, because we need to be well in order to help others to be well. And it's extremely important for the viability of organizations as well to have productive employees who are moving together in a concerted effort for improvement and better outcomes in healthcare. So part of that is actually having that very productive and excellent culture for those who serve in healthcare capacities. So we also have the resources for success. And with that, we have some of the evidence-based practices that are out there. This is not all inclusive by any means, but this is a start, and this will really help you as you're taking a look at your design project. And there's some really good resources, not only for just now, but in the future as well. So know that we're adding to your toolbox as we move forward in this course as well. And it will really help you in your future, whether it would be in your leadership practice, maybe in education. All these resources are viable resources for population health practice and for shifting the structure of healthcare. So let's go ahead and take a look at our forums. For our first forum, we are actually empowering you to take a look at some of the evidence-based practices as you're really moving forward with your design project. And this is a time to really start sharing with each other. If you found something that may be helpful to someone else in your cohort, please do share that and have that vivid conversation. We're also looking at doing that collaborative piece. We're looking at the continuum of healthcare. So we're looking at non-traditional partners, and we need to start thinking in those terms as far as the partners in healthcare may not be those who are within the realm of what we associate with healthcare facilities. So keep that in mind. And then as we take a look at our second forum within the leadership module number 3, we're going to look at all hazards preparedness. And this is really kind of a fun forum that you get to devise either a short video, social media post, those types of things regarding a particular emergency preparedness or all hazards preparedness concept that you will use as a public service announcement. It may be via television, it may be social media, so there's a lot of creative lenience given here. So really think about what is an effective way to share information, and you'll be able to share what you devise. And many of our students have actually used this in social media in the past to really relate out some very valuable information, because we all know that social media may or may not have the most accurate information out there as well. So have fun with this one. And also we're going to dive back into our readings and just kind of pose one question about some of the readings that warrants for further discussion or needs additional clarities for you all to discuss amongst yourself. And just know that there's again going to be a pause in action to allow you to really focus on your project, your design project. So know that that's coming after the end of your second discussion or forum within module number 3. So let me know if you have any questions whatsoever or if I can assist you in any way.